I'm Daniel, the past life regressionist, and it's time to begin.
Lift off and the clock has started.
3, 2, 1. This is Timeless Spirituality. Enjoy Utility Time.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Timeless Spirituality. So, this is the second episode in the miniseries, Somehow I Made It Through, where I go ahead and interview individuals about their experience overcoming the most difficult and darkest times of their lives, and then finding purpose from the darkness. So, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the series. There's going to be 4 more episodes in Somehow I Made It Through. And then we're going to get back to the Mirror of Time Sweetness. Mirror of Time 6 Sweetness to continue the home series. So, hope you guys enjoy it. And I do have a workshop coming up on April 6, 2024 with my buddy Christian Bradley West, also known as the Country Clairvoyant. It's called Past Lives and Astrology Ties, where we're going to talk all things astrological nodes and past lives, where I will be doing a group regression for everyone, and it's going to be the time of the solar eclipse. So I'm going to go ahead and include the information to that event in the show notes, and hope to see you guys there. So yeah, it's going to be fun. And I just want to give a shout out to my girlfriend Dana Marie. I'm going to give her her title Esquire also, because you guys are about to hear a piece that was largely written by her, and I just want to thank her for her support in the podcast and her writing skills and just the way that her mind works, and it's something else. So this is sorry, a little okay. I'm just getting a little distracted there. Let me stop being goofy and just slow things down a little bit right now, because it's a piece about pain and what we have to learn from pain. So I just want to thank her for her contribution, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So with all that said, if you would like to book a regression with me to discover who, when, and where you have been throughout time, you can reach me on Instagram with the Past Life Regressionist, or my website, thepastliferegressionist.com. And now, it's time to begin. Pain. Confront it. Don't just let it go because it hurts. But maybe hold on to some of it after you've confronted it. Because maybe that's the point. To trust who's in the driver's seat in this one life we know. Or at least, kind of know. Well, at least the one we know better than all the rest. And maybe by focusing on what we know and how we feel right here and right now, we can better decide what we need to hold on to and when we need to pull out that parchment paper and forgive and release it. And maybe just maybe we need to embrace our pain just to look it straight in the eye, that ultimate mirror, and feel it. Maybe even learn from it. We were quite literally born with the ability to feel everything. Pain, love, joy, heartbreak, hopelessness, stagnation, transformation. Right here, right now, in each moment that we take in breath, we have the faculties to feel these things. That we know for sure. And no regression, magic potion, spiritual intervention, psychiatric medication, diagnosis, or therapy will ever change that truth. A subjective truth and a somewhat universal truth. And a truth that is also somehow uniquely each of ours. Somehow, freedom seems to taste a little sweeter when we've been lost or imprisoned. But maybe we could better feel, dare I say, feel free, or at least a little more at home in our own skin if we step out of that blasphemous cave and into the sunlight instead of focusing on the shadows cast by the sun upon the cold walls of that cave that we have somehow called both prison and home? Because maybe, just friggin' maybe, that cave, that shelter, it isn't our home. Fear and pain suck. They hurt. But they probably hurt for a reason. And maybe we just need to feel that hurt to let go of that pain. Maybe pain is the answer to pain. It's so hard to hurt, especially when that hurt seems so insurmountable and endless. And even more so when we don't know why we are hurting or how to fix it. And sometimes we may know exactly why it is that we're hurting. And we may even know exactly what we need to do to fix it. But it still feels impossible. Maybe even paralyzing. Making it just go away would be so much easier. But then I got to ask you, what's the point in feeling at all? Why were we given this ability to feel anything if every feeling was not important or necessary? I don't know what you believe in, and frankly, I don't think it matters, because something or someone clearly believes in us. And that something or someone most certainly has to start with each of us. And whatever you believe in, I'm pretty sure that no one listening to this would be able to deny that they feel. We all feel. We all eat, we all sleep, and we all breathe. The latter three, we just do without thinking for the most part. And then we take them for granted. So there's another truth bomb for you that I don't think anyone can deny. Not only do we feel, but unlike breathing, we have the uncanny and very confusing ability to be fully and sometimes painfully aware of it. I suppose we should all just be grateful that our hearts don't ask for our mind's approval before each beat. But for some strange reason, our feelings do. They operate very differently than our heartbeat. We undeniably have the ability to think about, contemplate, and care about our feelings. It's just so strange to even put it into words. But facts are, we feel what we feel, meaning we care about how we feel. We have a choice about how we respond to our feelings, as our capacity to feel is one of, if not, our greatest gift. Life would be pretty boring without that somewhat subjective truth. Our feelings, our past, the connections we form, our desires, our goals, ambitions, our drive, that is a living part of being alive. We aren't microscopic organisms that simply live to reproduce and carry before we die. A lot of life is like that. Sure, but we are unique. Being human is feeling. And every aspect of being any type of living organism is never without purpose. Not to mention a purpose that seeks to see us strive, grow, and dare I say even thrive. Life is and has always been in our favor, even when it hurts. And maybe it wouldn't hurt to get a little more familiar with the pain. Because maybe in doing so, it would be so much easier to just find our purpose. Not just in our own right, but for all of us. What we share with every single person on this planet is our ability to feel everything and know the difference between what feels good and what often doesn't. But being human is also not solitary, either in definition or in reality. We are all human. We all feel. And we most certainly are not alone. For everyone that's hurting right now, you are not alone. Nature did not create us that way. And I don't believe God or who or whatever you may prefer to give credit to for the blueprints designed nature this way for no reason. As for me, I'm going to focus on what I know from where I'm at right now in this very moment. I'm human, and I hurt with you and for you. I get it. And even if I don't know what hurt or pain you might be facing right now, by my very nature as being human, I know that everyone hurts, even if I don't know all the details. And that's enough. it should be and needs to be enough for all of us. So for now, let's do what we were designed to do. Let's be human. All of us, and each of us, all at once. One hurt, one breath, one heartbeat, and one feeling at a time. And if we all do this, then somehow, somewhere, in some way, I believe that we'll all make it through. Adam, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for being here. I always get stuck at the beginning because I never know what to say. It's like, I'm excited for today, yet maybe eager is a better word. Eager for where this episode will take us. So,
Yeah, should be interesting.
So for my first question, my hands go up. Are you ready for the first one? You'll see why they go up in a minute. You ready for it?
Let's get it, man.
What is your favorite song about time and why?
Timing is everything. It's from a movie called Country Strong. But the words to the song are very unique to me because timing to me is everything, because everything is divinely timed as far as what I've learned in the past couple of years with my awakening experience and everything. It's when you're patient and you allow time to just flow and you flow with life and you allow it to just happen when it's supposed to happen. Timing is everything, man.
And you said the movie was Country Strong?
Yes.
Who starred in it?
Garrett Hudlin and trying to think of the woman's name now. I can see her face. I can't think of her name. Gwyneth Paltrow.
I never saw the movie. Oh, sorry. This is the part where I play the Guess of the Year game. I never saw the movie. I've never heard of the song, but I'm going to check it out. Country Strong. I'm here in 2016 right now, but that seems too recent. It feels like it may have been a little longer than 2016. When it
2010.
came out. 2010. Okay, I was up by 6 years. Now this interview has just totally gone down the tubes because I'm going to be kicking myself for the entire time that I didn't get that. It's okay. I will recover. I'm working on the ego. That's one of the things. We don't fully get rid of it, but I'm just working on not letting it affect me because it's okay to be wrong. I don't need to know everything all the time. It's okay. Right. I like to be right, but it's okay to say I was wrong. And no, I'll be okay.
You should definitely check out the movie.
I'll check it out. Does she wear a cowboy hat in it?
It's kind of a chick flick, but it's got good meaning to it when you understand relationship dynamics. It's kind of like the runner chaser kind of thing, little love triangle and everything mixed in it. But it's got a lot of good meaning to it. Good movie.
Oh, the chaser dynamic. All right. Are you ready for the next question?
Yeah, man, let's get it.
What do you believe in?
That's a deep question because I pretty much dissolved most of my beliefs in the past couple of years. I believe there is a higher power that guides us in our everyday life. I like to refer to it as, in a loose term, God, source, the universe. God's such an overused term these days. Everybody thinks they know God. And the only way I found God was to go within myself and discover who I truly was. And to me, that's what I believe is you want to find your true self in order to find God.
I like that.
It's been a long journey, man.
What was the name of that song again?
Timing is everything.
Timing is everything.
That's it, brother.
Are you ready for the most difficult question I'm going to ask you today?
Sure.
Who is Adam?
Adam is a very unique individual that has rediscovered himself and decided to guide people to the correct direction, because most people that are in society today are lost and need direction. Most of them don't even have a clue what direction is the right direction. And Adam found a direction that is, for him, fulfilling and in a direction of pure love and just service to people.
How do you feel saying that?
Very light, man. It makes me feel like free to just be that person that I always knew I could be.
I'm happy to hear that. And,
Thank
we've talked briefly about your story. And I mean, I found it massively inspiring. So there's a little tease for what's to come. But my next question for you is, why are you speaking out about mental health?
Really and truly, man, because after dealing with my own mental health, I realized that nobody really cares about mental health in the society. And a lot of people they want to get that help, but they can't get the help they need because society guides them in their own direction. I've went down the path of talking to therapists. I've went down the path of taking antidepressants, and I found that true mental health is not going to be given to you. You got to seek it. And I want to be someone to bring mental health awareness to people so they can understand that there are people out there who can understand this and who can work through it and teach you a better way besides taking a pill.
So what's your story?
Well, you want to start from the beginning?
Sounds like the best place.
I grew up in a small town, broken home. Uh, had a stepdad that was narcissistic and mentally abusive, verbally abusive. My mom protected me at every corner, so I didn't know anything other than how to be
Sorry, do you mind
protected.
if I jump in really quick? I'm sorry
Go
to
ahead.
cut in.
Go
Small town where?
ahead. Turkey Creek, Louisiana.
So yeah, I'm sorry again for cutting in. I want to jump in here a little bit more at this point, because one of the things that was very eye-opening to me once I became a past life regressionist is I had this view, well, prior to becoming past life regressionist, this view of what middle America looked like, or what the southern states looked like. That it was just Bible, 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 Bible. That's
Oh, yeah.
all that I saw. To think that there would ever be anyone who wasn't Bible, 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 and going a more spiritual route would just be earth-shattering to me. So I just wanted to kind of shine a light on perceptions that closed-minded people such as myself had. And that, well, yeah,
It's not necessarily a closed-minded perception. There's very few people that come from these small towns that are not Bible. The town I grew up in, man, has one caution light. They just got a Dollar General the past few years. It's small. There's like 5 churches in the town. Enough said. I was born Catholic. I was raised in a Church of Christ. I later became Baptist, and then I ran away from all of it. Every church that I attended, I felt the hypocrisy and there was so much that wasn't true that it just does not resonate with me. And I didn't understand why I felt a connection with God, but I didn't feel a connection in church. And when I separated myself from religion totally, I really kind of went down a darker path of just fuck the world. I don't even care. Nobody could tell me nothing that resonated with me to make me feel that I should even worry about it. I mean, I went completely agnostic for years. I didn't have a care. I was like, nobody can tell me what's going to happen when I die. I'm not going to worry about it. I'll just live my life and die. And, after about 10 years of alcoholism and living a life that was not of the light. I found myself at a crossroads, and we'll get to that crossroads. But you know, to step back a little bit, back to my childhood, it was rough, man. My older brother left home when he was 15. I was 12. He left and moved in with my grandparents. I stayed till I was 17. When I was 17, I dropped out of school. I took out on my own. I went got a full-time job, got my own place to live. And I mean, I grew up. I was a man at 17 and found out real quickly that just because I thought I was a man didn't mean that I was still a child, because I had so much learning to do, so much growing to do. I got married at 19, had my first child at 20. I later joined the military. I joined the Army when I was 21. And that's when life started kind of showing me what manhood was about. I went and got reprogrammed by the military. So that changed a lot. It had a lot to do with my agnostic side, because going through there, learning nothing but violence and learning that I had that power to take a life. It kind of changed my perception on people. And it got to the point to where I just despised people. People were stupid. I didn't want to be around them. I chose to seclude myself, and I secluded myself with alcohol. And I went to basic training for 6 months. Then I went to South Korea for a year, and I was gone from my family for a year and a half. And by the time I came back, I was a completely different person. Me and my wife at the time, we wasn't really getting along that well. We was, trying to figure each other out again, trying to find out how to love each other again. And she got pregnant with our second child, and that was in 2007. 2008, my second child was born. So we had two girls in 2008, and we discussed it a lot. I was going to re-enlist into the Army, and I ended up changing. I went to the National Guard, and we relocated to Georgia. And I lived in Georgia for about the past 12 years. But while I was there, me and her fell apart. We got divorced in 2014. And then I remarried in 2017 to another woman. Going through all the divorce and everything, just it made the alcoholism worse. So I really fell off. That's whenever I went through my depression and just purely lost. I didn't see a light at all. I was in the dark. And in 2020, close to, it was the end of the year, so like September-ish, I decided to quit drinking. I got caught messing around on my other wife, and she threw an ultimatum on me, and I made a decision. I was like, she's right. This is destroying my life, and I need to be done with it. So I quit drinking. And then in January 21, both of my daughters died in a car accident, and just completely shook my whole world up. I was at a point to where I was like, I thought I'm doing better. I quit drinking. I'm learning to change things. Why right now? When I'm learning how to cope in another way, do I have to deal with something this traumatic that has just made me want to drink more? I had to overcome that again. And I mean, it was difficult. It took months. And 7 months after that, my mom's husband, which was the stepdad I wish I could have grew up with, died from COVID. And that was like another just kick me while I'm down, kind of thing. So between those two things, it really triggered so much inside of me that I had to find the light. And, it's going through the depression and trying forward 5 different depression medicines to try to cope with it and try to understand everything. I fell apart completely. And the medicine didn't seem to help. It seemed to make it worse, until one day I'm just randomly just lost so bad that I grabbed a gun and put it to my head, and scared me to death. Like something just triggered in me and scared me, and I threw it down. And I was like, "That's not what I want. Why do I feel this way? Why is my life so bad to where I don't feel like I can survive?" You know, it's like I wanted to give up for a split second, and it triggered everything for me. So after that, I stopped taking all medicines, and I started focusing on trying to understand instead of trying to fix the problem. I wanted to understand the problem. I wanted to understand why I was the way I was, why I felt the things that I felt, why I had the thoughts that I had. You know, so one of the first books that I read was Joe Dispenza, Becoming Supernatural. And that book literally, when he said that you can reprogram yourself, sent me down a rabbit hole. And I looked at myself as a machine and my brain as the computer drive. And I went to work. I went full blown 100% into, if my brain is a computer and it's full of viruses, then I need to create an antivirus to clean it off and reprogram what needs to be programmed. And that's how I started looking at myself. I looked at myself as a machine with a computer for a brain, and I started reprogramming everything. I wanted to learn all I could to see things from different perspectives, from this person and understand why they thought the way they thought, so I could figure out how I thought and why I thought that way. So I started listening to people like Jordan Peterson, who is phenomenal at, you know, being someone who sees things from a perspective of mental health, because he's been through a hard life. He's seen things, and he has a way of saying things that has changed my perceptions. I went down a rabbit hole, man. It was deep. I got into books. I found an outlet, and learning is my outlet. It's, what can I learn today? What can I do to help someone today? How can I learn from someone today? Everything in my life experience now is about learning. If I'm not learning from a book, I'm learning from somebody. If I can't learn from that person, then I'm going to teach them something. You know, there's a purpose to this, and the purpose is to be the best me that I can be, so I can help others become the best them they could be. And at the same time, the only way I can be the best me is to listen to others and learn what I came from them, and then flip my perspectives and just try to look at everything from all angles.
Do you mind if we talk about the component of loss a little bit?
Sure.
So for me personally, I don't have any children. I'm 37 right now. And I've found myself asking myself why it is that I don't have a desire really to have children. And what I keep coming to is the fear of loss. For this series, I'm reluctant to bring past lives into the equation, but, you know, being who I am, I have had many lives where I've lost my family in horrific ways and had to go on without them. And most of the time, from what I've seen, I didn't handle it so well after the fact. There were a couple of times I did okay, but most of the time, just use your imagination type of thing. And all I can come to in the here and now, when I'm 37, you know, as we're recording this in October of 2023, I'm coming up on 37 and a half. You know, I haven't used half years since I was like 7. So, you know, 30-year gap. But I almost can't imagine having children because of the fear of loss and just how paralyzing that feeling or that thought even feels to me. So I can't even imagine how difficult it must have been for you to be in that position. One, trying to get sober and not being able to go to your coping mechanism, but also to lose 3 pivotal family members. So my question is, How did you rise above that and not fear more loss?
It took a perception switch. Like I had to, after I started learning about past lives and the purpose of the journey that we call life, I understand now that everyone that is put in your life is put there with a purpose. And for me, it took the understanding to know that my daughters were put in my life to awaken me. They were the catalyst to put me on back on my path that I was supposed to be on. And every person that I come in contact with, I know there's a purpose. I know that they have a purpose to be in my path. And to take, like, I never even imagined that it would have happened to me either. It was something that I lived my day just thinking that they were always going to be there. And then one day they weren't. So to have to grasp the fact that their purpose was to awaken me and they served their purpose, then it allowed me to be okay with the fact that that was their purpose. They served their purpose. Now it's time for me to serve mine, and I don't look at loss as such a traumatic thing anymore. I look at it more of when someone dies and they move on, their purpose was fulfilled. When it comes to a suicide, that's to me a different one. I'm not going to call them weak for saying, I don't want this, I'm done, I'm out. But at the same time, that is an exit point that they chose to come into this life with that says, if it's too much, I'm going to call it. And I have a stepbrother who committed suicide about 5 years ago. It was a lot involved in it. But whenever that happened, it kind of shifted my perspective on that. It's like, why? Why would you do that? And then the more I dig into the spiritual side of life and past lives and how all this works, the more I understand that everybody has a purpose. And sometimes their purpose is to be the catalyst to awaken someone or to just put someone in that state where they hit rock bottom so they can find their way out. It's not something to me that has got to be the most traumatic thing that's ever happened to you, but it has to be the right thing. And sometimes that's what it takes.
Is it okay if we explore this a little bit more?
Yeah.
It's hard for me to fathom what you're saying right now, since I've never been in your position. So, of course, none of this is coming from a place of personal experience. It's just, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
I agree with you with regards to everyone coming in with a purpose, but can't the two simultaneously exist? That someone came in with a purpose, yet can also be the most devastating loss you've ever experienced and feel both of those at the same time?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's what we're here for, to experience the emotions. We want to feel these emotions because our higher self doesn't allow, like in the spiritual world, they're not allowed to feel this emotion that we get to feel as a human. That's part of the reason why we choose this experience, is to embrace these emotions. The feeling of pain is one of the strongest emotions you can feel. So to not feel it would be like taking something away from this life. So to embrace that emotion and not judge it and say, that was devastating. Yes, it was. I was devastated. I went into a fit of rage and I felt every bit of it. But it's not something I'm supposed to hold on to. I feel that emotion. I let it flow through me. I embrace it, and then I let it go.
How?
Honestly, I'm not for certain on how I actually let it go, other than the realizations of they served their purpose to do their job, which was to awaken me to the life that I have left to live. And had it not been for that, I would have probably still been running blind, So I look at them as a blessing, even as they're gone. It's something I felt compelled to just be like, I can't hold on to the fact that they're not here, but I can hold on to the fact that they gave me a second chance.
So having the platform that I have, I feel a deep, profound sense of responsibility to not lead anyone astray. Anyone who's listening.
Mhm.
And everything. So this is why this is so perplexing for me right now, is because everything you're saying right now, I actually feel that it's genuine. I feel that somehow you've found a way to let go.
Yeah.
Because I fear that the risk with saying something to the effect of what you've just said for someone who may be listening is an invitation for them to spiritually bypass and, use the component of purpose to not feel the grief. But like I said, with you, that's not what I'm feeling. It's genuine. It doesn't sound like you're like, oh yeah, I'm just going to latch onto this concept so I can spiritually bypass. I feel that you've somehow found, do I dare say, the magic key. That's why I'm just like that. When I said how, it's just like, how? Like, how have you done this? This is like, I've just found the guy at the top of the mountain. It's like, how? Do you know what I mean with that?
I found peace, man. I found peace within myself. I've come to terms with everything, and I found a way to understand how this works to where I don't hold on to things so tightly anymore. I allow things to be what they're going to be. I mean, granted, my two girls walk beside me every day. I mean, they're my guardian angels. They talk to me all the time. I feel them around me. Anytime that something is just going too perfect, I just look up and say thank you. They're guiding me everywhere I go, and that helped. That definitely helped because it's like they're physically gone, but they're spiritually still with me everywhere I go. So that definitely helps to cope and to say it's okay that they're gone because they're still here in that sense. But yeah, man, I mean, it's peace, man. I found peace and an utmost happiness with just being me, and to know that everything around me is divinely orchestrated, that I don't have to try to force things to happen. I just flow with it and I allow things to be what they're going to be. Yes, I still take action. I still, when something needs to be done, I do it, but I don't try to force it. If it's something that's just not working out, it's probably not supposed to happen. I'm going to leave it alone. I'll find another opportunity. It's not something that we think we can control everything, but you can't. Some things you just have to let go and let God take care of it, in a sense. And like this whole year for me has been so transformational. Like I really learned how to put a manifestation out of this is what I'm looking for. This is kind of what I want to see in my life. And then not sit there and try to force it to happen, just allow it to be what it's going to be. And man, you'd be surprised how it just falls into place sometimes. It's amazing, and allowing things to just happen for me is just an experience that I can't express enough to explain. I can't explain it. It's just amazing. It's things just fall into place and it just works out the way it's supposed to. Sometimes when things are going to go and like, oh man, why ain't this happening? Just be patient. When I put patience in play, it just falls back together. And it's like, see, I was just making sure you're just gonna be patient. I'm like, all right, got you. It's everything is teaching you. Everything around you in your life is teaching you. I mean, everything is about learning. It's about the experience.
Do me a favor. Please find a way to articulate that.
I'm working on it, man.
If it
It's
takes you
something
some
that
time, that's okay. But please, like,
it's something I'm trying to figure out how to articulate because I do it and I feel it and I know it's there and I can flow with it like it's supposed to be flowed with. Now I just have to find a way to explain it to someone where they can understand. And like I can do it in pieces. Like I can tell people all day. People come to me and they're like, "Hey, what's going on in my life? Is this, and this? How can I work through it?" Well, first thing you need to do is work on yourself. Worry about your own personal healing because you cannot pour into other people's cups if your cup is empty. You got to fill your own cup first. So the first thing I'm always going to tell people is go within yourself and find happiness and joy. Find your own happiness. Be happy by yourself. Lose the codependency. Lose the fact that you need somebody to make you happy, because no one is going to make you happy for a long term. It's going to be short term. They're going to come into your life. They're going to make you happy, and then they're going to destroy that little foundation that you had built. But when you build a foundation within yourself that you can be happy, whether you're alone or if you're around anyone, that foundation cannot be taken from you.
damn.
That's true, man.
So before we move on, I want to put a disclaimer out there for everyone because you had mentioned that you went off all of your meds, which I applaud. But I also want to do the other extreme. It may not be for everyone. So
No,
so everyone please take that into consideration. Like
I,
it's tailored to the individual.
I literally weaned myself off. It took me 2 weeks to stop, and I started breaking my pills in half, taking a half a dose. Then I'd skip a day and skip a day, skip 2 days, and then I weaned myself off appropriately. Granted, no doctor's going to tell you what to do. They don't want you to stop taking your medicine. They want you to continue. It's how they make their money. Although for me, it wasn't working. It was hurting me. It was making me worse. And when I saw that, I said, I got to stop this. And I weaned myself off appropriately. And I started, seeking help from a different direction. I also started implementing a lot of different dietary changes. And so I started fasting. And, I went down the full rabbit hole of how can I make my body become supernatural. And I started meditating. I was doing a lot of meditating. Uh, it got to the point where I was meditating 8 hours a day. I had a lot to work on. So it took me a lot of time of meditating, man. And I mean, I enjoy meditating. My alone time is very valuable to me. And it's somewhere that I found peace. And the only way for me to maintain my peace is to go within myself and clear out all the nonsense throughout the day. So if I do a 30-minute meditation now, I'm good. Before it took me hours. It took a lot of work. It's not something somebody's just going to wake up one day and be, oh, I'm better. No, I've been working on this for 2 years. It's been a lot of work.
What was the title of that song?
Timing is everything.
All right, my next question for you. I think you'd mentioned this, maybe not verbatim, but that the purpose that you found now is how to guide individuals. Right? Was that what? Because I jotted it down really quick, but I put it more in a question form of how are you guiding individuals? What comes up for you?
I have a multitude of ways, actually.
What you got?
I do numerology. I do astrology. I'm working on learning some human design. And I've learned that those are just tools. They're self-mastery tools. If you want to understand yourself, dig deep in that. I use astrology for relationship dynamics, planetary energies, and how they line up and compare to people. I can go into your astrology and I can decipher some of your past life stuff, tell you what kind of past lives you've had. I can't tell you direct instant stories or anything like that, like you could do probably, but I can tell you this is the kind of lives that you've lived, and this was the journeys that you were on. And when you come into this life, I can use your astrology to kind of tell you, hey, this is the path you're supposed to be on now. You've already learned all this stuff in your past lives, and now you're supposed to transmute these things and move forward on this path in this direction. And between the personality aspects of astrology and the personality aspects of numerology and human design, when you start understanding yourself, you can start understanding how to use the positive side of those energies and not the negative side. Because a lot of people don't realize how much there's always a
Yeah.
balance.
The higher and lower octaves.
Yeah, there's two sides to every personality. And when you start learning the higher sides of your personality and utilizing those, you can bring out the highest, best self that you can. It's self-mastery. That's understanding yourself will help you understand life in general. It'll help you move through life with ease. And that's what I started on, man. I started digging into numerology and astrology, and I started learning myself. I understand myself more now than I ever thought I could.
Astrology helped me understand myself in a way that past life regression never could.
Yeah,
Because I started with past life regression before astrology, and I've been learning astrology now for 7 years, and yeah, so it's just I hear you, and even when I ask that question of how, the earnestness and all of that was real because I had my chart flashing in my head at that point because I have my South Node in Scorpio conjunct Pluto in my 8th house. So I just saw that flat, like, that's what I'm supposed to learn. How did he do it?
Well, your South Node is what you already know. Your North Node is where you're supposed to be headed.
It may be what, in that case, what I'm familiar with. I mean, I don't know how to overcome that.
See, my North Node's in Gemini. I have a stellium in Sagittarius.
Which ones?
See, my sun sign Sagittarius.
You got Uranus there. You may have Neptune there, right? Or that or Capricorn.
Put me on the spot, man. Let me find. Look at my chart. The Sun, Mercury, Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune. Those are all in the 5th house with my South Node. And
the fuck are you in a past life?
see, I don't know if you want to go that direction, man. It's
Are you serious?
Yeah, like.
Do you know who you're talking to right now?
I got a Scorpio moon.
Oof.
Yeah.
What's that? So your 4th house?
3rd, I believe. No, 4th house. Yes.
4th.
Yeah,
What degree?
4th house. I want to say 11, but I want to say it's 28 also. So it's somewhere around there. But basically, man, Scorpio moon in the 4th house is a very dark past life. Like if you go into it, like it involves a lot of witchcraft and a lot of murder and X-rated things, like not pretty. I had to transmute all of that stuff in order to be on the direction I'm on. And that's why I guess I went down such a dark road, is because there was a lot of darkness in me. Like, dude, I've had nightmares for years about doing crazy things and like didn't understand why. But learning about my past lives opened me up to understanding that had a lot to do with why I was the way I was, because all of that was carrying over and coming up. And as it was coming up and I was resisting and pushing that back down, it just made me internalize all my emotions, and I kept everything so hidden. And I was, always scared someone was going to find out about my dark side. So understanding that allowed me to just look at it and not judge it and say, okay, I get it. I've experienced all that. It's okay. I don't have to judge it. I have to transmute it. What do I do to transmute it? I started forgiving myself for things that I didn't even do. This is past life stuff that I didn't personally do it. My soul did. My soul was like, we experienced all this already. This shit was good. No, this shit was bad. So I had to forgive myself and repent for things that personally I didn't do. But I had to do that to break the judgment on it so I could release it and transmute it.
Yeah, I mean, the subconscious and superconscious level is just fascinating.
It is.
Because, I've done some messed up things in past lives. Fortunately, I've never been one to really consciously harbor those feelings because I'm the same way as you of recognizing that wasn't me. I mean, it kind of was, but it wasn't. I don't need to feel guilty, at least consciously. Well, I don't really need to feel guilty subconsciously either. I need to just work to get rid of that. But I don't look at those things and consciously say, oh my God, the things I did 7,000 years ago or 700 years ago. Oh my God. No, that was then. Because I wouldn't do that shit now. And this is the one I'm conscious of now in this life now. And I think that's how astrology has helped me so much more than past lives, because past life regression made it tangible as to I'll just use the word, the stories from the past lives and understanding what I was coming in with. But it was the astrological component that was more of a silver platter of, well, here's what you do with it now in this life. Here's how you handle the energies that are at play in this life. Yeah. And to me, I'm making the statement that's really bad for business. This life is more important than past lives. I'm sorry to say it.
It is, man.
It truly is.
But most people don't realize that your past lives, even though you don't know about them, they bubble up in this life.
Oh, yeah.
History repeats itself. And those opportunities of making the right changes or making the right choices will come up in this life. And if you don't choose the right thing, then you still didn't learn the lesson from a past life, and you're going to keep carrying it. Same with your subconscious does not know the difference. You are programmed. If you want to change your subconscious, you have to change the program that you're running. Don't run the same program everybody around you is running. Become different. Be misunderstood. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing to be misunderstood, because that lets you know that you are being your authentic self. Authenticity is the greatest thing you could ever find within yourself, because no one is being authentic. Everyone's acting like everybody wants them to act, or, people pleasing and trying to be something that fits into every possible group. But you don't even know who you truly are. You're playing a role everywhere that you go. You're shifting roles. So you're a shapeshifter now. Find who you want to be and be that person, and don't change. Be authentic. And that right there will guide you straight onto your North Node, and you can start transmuting everything from the past.
I agree. Ain't it fun to just be yourself?
Yeah, it's great, man. It don't matter what people think about you. Whatever, man. Y'all want to judge?
I'm still working on that one. There's some things I don't care about with regards to people's perceptions of me, but there are other things that I do care. I'm still working on that. I'm not afraid to say that there are things I do care about still.
I've adjusted to the fact that it's not that I care. It's that out of respect, I'm going to be quieter in some instances. I would rather just observe. I'll let you play your little parts, and I'm going to observe how y'all act while I sit over here and be authentic and observe. That way, it doesn't create controversy around like your family members. Your family is not going to accept your authenticity after 38 years of being everything they wanted you to be. Then all of a sudden you're changing. Well, I can change and just sit back and be quiet. When I started observing, man, I started seeing so much. Like, people will show you who they truly are when you just sit back and watch.
Mm-hmm.
And I allowed myself to just observe and know when and when not to try to step in, because they don't want to hear it.
Yeah, that's one of the hardest ones of all.
Most of the time, like, they'll come at you with their problems or whatever, but they don't want you to help them fix their problems. They just want to complain.
Mm-hmm.
They're addicted to complaining.
And then they take it out on you.
Well, don't project your negative energy on me. I don't have to listen to it. And set those boundaries up, and then all of a sudden they don't like you no more. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yep, been there, done that.
And like I said, it's okay with being misunderstood.
I need to work with that one too. So thank you for that little nugget. You ready to play the last game for the day?
Sure.
All right, this is excuse me. This is the How Have You Grown game. So in this little baggie right now, I have 4 different options. So as you can see, I'm swirling it around. I don't have my hand on any one in particular, so the game is not rigged. As with the game before, where I had my hands up, I like to maintain the integrity of the games. As you see, still, I keep removing my hand as I'm turning. So my question for you is, how have you grown in the last week?
Ooh, that's a good one, because in the last week, I have really started putting myself out there. I'm really stepping into my role as a guide to try to help people. And when I see an opportunity, I do my best to step up and try to give that information when I can. And honestly, in the past week is when it started. I'm really starting to step into that role that I need to play, which is to guide people, to help them see things from a different perspective, to better themselves.
How does it feel stepping into that role?
And it's great, man. I'm loving it. It's every day is like I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I get another chance to do something good. Who are you gonna bring into my life today? It's an exciting thing. I enjoy it.
So I mentioned earlier, I'm still working on my ego, but since I'm not fully there yet, do I always get the bragging rights of knowing that the first time you were a guest on the podcast was on Timeless Spirituality? Do I get to hold on to those bragging rights?
Sure.
I guess I'm still working on it. Being authentic.
Eat some mushrooms, man. It'll go away.
One day I'll get there. I like my pizza just plain with cheese.
See, we didn't even cover that part of my story.
What, pizza toppings?
No, mushrooms.
Like in olives and green peppers and...
No.
Oh, the other kind.
Yeah.
Oh, the cow shit ones.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We'll have you back on again. We'll talk about it in another episode.
Yeah. It's an interesting couple of stories we could talk about on that. But yeah, I dissolved my ego, and now I get to play with it now. It's like I can kind of step into my ego when I want to, but I can always say, sit down and shut up. It's not time for the ego. It's a duality that I can control now. And it's powerful, man. Mushrooms are definitely a good thing. If everybody just did some mushrooms, the whole world would live in love.
I think that people should be able to do what they want to do if they're not harming anyone.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for coming on today and sharing your story.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it.
Look, inspiring. Just very inspiring that you've found yourself in a place where you've overcome so much. So I want to tell you that I have great admiration and respect for that.
Thank you.
And thank you. Thank you for coming on and being an inspiration to lots of people out there.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. So where can everyone reach you?
Well, I don't really have a whole lot of places you can reach me. I am on TikTok. I don't really post anything on TikTok, but if you want to get with me, book a reading, astrology reading, or numerology, or anything like that, my handle on TikTok is Crazy Cajun 777.
Okay, so that's crazy, and then Cajun, is that CAJUN?
Yes.
Okay, so and that's crazy with the C?
Yes.
Okay, so Crazy Cajun 777.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll include that in the show notes for everyone too. And
sounds good.
Yeah, this is great. So just best of luck on your journey.
Thank you, man.
And I always finish every episode by saying, yay.
Yay.
Fellow time travelers, your journey through time awaits you. Just want to thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. And if you're interested in discovering who, when, and where you have been throughout time, and you'd like to book a session with me, just go ahead and send me a message on Instagram at The Past Life Regressionist, or you can reach me through my website, yourpastliferegressionist.com.